Hi, welcome back to the Energy Soup of the Week for August 10th through 16th. We're going to start off with the transits for the week, which is part of the Energy Soup that we're all swimming in as a collective, and it'll affect all of us together, but also affect us in our individual lives. And so the big thing on the plate this week is the total solar eclipse at 20 degrees Leo. It's on Wednesday, August 12th, peaking at 10:46 Pacific Daylight Time. A solar eclipse is like a new moon on steroids. New moons are opportunities to set new intentions for the next lunar cycle, and eclipses expand that cycle out to 6 months to a year. This one being on the south node, this eclipse speaks of new beginnings through letting go of old habits, patterns, relationships, and circumstances that impede our growth. Self-centeredness is out. Authenticity by shining our true light for the uplifting of all and benefit of the greater good is in. At the same time, we have a T-square in the cardinal signs with Venus at 5 degrees Libra, opposite Neptune at 4 degrees Aries, and on the opposite, and then square Mars and Ceres at the initiatory 0 degrees Cancer. This opposition asks us to weigh what we honestly value in relationships against the disillusion of delusion, while at the same time activating newfound confidence in clarified, solid pathways to manifest what seemed only a dream into the 3D. The square with Mars and Ceres creates tension to give energy for fresh action from a place of protection and compassion. Energy for building a safe, nurturing home space for the inner processing and growth of ourselves and those that we care for. We also have a grand trine in air. Venus at Libra, 5 degrees, Uranus in Gemini at 5 degrees, and Pluto at 3 degrees Aquarius, temporarily partnered with Juno, reaching back into the anaretic 29th degree of Capricorn. This trine enables flow between the value of art and the beauty we see, the innovation of language, communication, technology, and networking, and the visions of future societal transformation through committed, mature partnerships built with solid foundations. On top of the eclipse transits, we also have the Lion's Gate portal, which we have been in for the last week or so, and peaked out just over this last weekend on the 8th. The Lion's Gate came into our modern awareness through New Age popularity, but goes back into the ancient Egyptians. They honored this yearly occurrence, which coincided with the flooding of the Nile, bringing fertility to the land. The ancient Egyptians revered Sirius, the fixed star, in many ceremonies and rituals. Sirius is the brightest star in the sky, located in the constellation Canis Major. It is also referred to as the dog star. Sirius is the sister star to our sun in a binary dance. The Lion's Gate portal opens as Sirius emerges into Earth's sight after annually being obscured by the sun. It begins when our sun reaches 15 degrees Leo, peaking on the 8th of August and closing on the 12th with the eclipse. In numerology, the Lion's Gate calls to the number 8 as the sign of infinity lying on its side. The date 88 brings in the angel number 88. This angel number signifies approach of great positive change and opportunity in money, health, personal development, and recognition of hard work. It also cautions to persevere in strategic management of resources toward long-term stability. As a farmer, this is the time of year when the bounty of the fields comes in, and we put away our food that's so abundant now for winter time. We chop the wood to be warm towards the winter. It also is a good time for contemplating appreciation around our journey into human consciousness. So as we enjoy the abundance of these long, hot summer days, we navigate the crumbling of the old and daydream the new into the real. It reminds me of a line out of the Fantastic Beasts stories. Isn't it funny how historic days seem so ordinary when you're living them? These times ask us to stay in integrity and keep stepping towards where curiosity leads. Don't worry about exactly where it's going or the details of getting there. Life gives us everything we need. Embrace this Leo energy by shining your true light and uplifting all around you. The smallest drop in the pond can have an enormous effect. We don't always see where our ripple lands. So now for the collective cards portion of our energy soup. And I pulled 3 today, and we've got the Temperance reversed, the King of Swords reversed, and Justice. So with these cards, I see in the middle we've got the King of Swords reversed. I feel like this is the big you-know-who. We probably know who that is in our collective, but that could also be a you-know-who in our lives. It is a big narcissistic energy. It's somebody who is very critical, very stuck in their heads and the way they think that things should be, very critical of everybody else who does not agree with them. And they create a lot of chaos. The Temperance card reversed really refers to not being able to have balance throughout all of the tumult that happens in the world. And I feel like the king's body is turned towards the chaos and but his head is turned towards justice. To me, this is about the king leaning into and has been paying attention and putting all his focus into the chaos that I believe he has created and watching it. And meanwhile, Lady Justice is starting to gain his attention. I feel like another part of the interpretation of these 3 cards is when I wanted to point out also is the sun over the king's head. And this being the time of Leo, which is ruled by the sun. But it's also about, being the star and being out in front of everybody. And this being, because it being a reverse card, of being a very self-centered version of that energy. It's all about me. When I look at the Justice card, I feel that with the sun, it is about the time of Libra, of weighing out the different possibilities and weighing out everything involved to make things fair. And I feel like right now in the time of Leo, at this time of year, we're looking at Lady Justice is seeing the King of Swords and all the chaos associated with him. And it's still to be determined of what is on the other side. And so I feel like we're at this time where it's like we see what's going on, but what's going to be done with this whole situation? So I feel like that's part of where we're at as a collective energy. So this refers to everything we're witnessing in the world, but it also refers to what's going on in your own life. Is there a you-know-who in your life? Are you being a you-know-who in your own life? And so this is the time to examine and weigh out where are we at with all of this, because it's coming out what we're seeing on this side of things. and it will be determined of what's going to be happening on this side of things. So that's the collective part of the reading with the transits and the collective cards. I'm going to be doing the elemental readings from this point on, and everything will be time stamped so that if you want to watch multiple parts of this reading or the different elements, that you'll be able to skip this first part. So you can check that out. And then also, if you are appreciating these videos, please give a like, a subscribe. I'd love to hear how any of these things are hitting for you in your own life. And yeah, I'm just really excited to be able to bring these readings to you. So thank you. On to the next. Okay, fire signs. Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Happy birthday, Leos. So we had our collective cards right here, and then now we're going to get into the 3 gifts reading. We'll start off with the middle card, which is the gift of where we're at right now. And this will be represented by the Gilded Tarot by Ciro Marchetti. I've already shuffled the cards pretty well, and so I'm just going to throw a couple more on there while we're here together. And we will pull this one right here. So we've got the King of Wands. King of Wands is about taking charge and getting things done. He is in the upright. So I feel like this is a very charismatic character, whether it's somebody that's in your life that you're seeing on the horizons out in the world, or if it's you yourself taking charge of things in your own life and in your own realm. And so this is about being inspirational as a leader, of being courageous, and being able to really take charge and move forward. So we have the position of the gift of what energies are flowing in. It'll be represented by the Pulp Tarot by Todd Alcott. And we throw a couple more shuffles on these guys. I love these cards. Okay, we'll do this one right here. We have the Four of Wands. So the Four of Wands is really about creating a safe and secure structure for getting these things done. It's often referred to as the marriage card. So it's really about creating a safe, secure place for partnerships, for projects, for being able to be in a creative space. We'll get back to this. This card really refers to the energies that are being brought in and flowing towards us. And the universe is always lining up things in the pipeline based on the energies that we're putting out and the frequencies that we're putting out. And so this is about being or lining up behind or seeing leadership coming in that is positive, of coming from a place of, for one thing, not ruling out of fear, but or anger, but of ruling from a place of making things so that people feel inspired, of making it fun. He's kind of like the cool, fun dad who knows how to play and move things forward in a way that you feel really good about things. And I feel like with that, that's really, he's even looking towards this. I feel like this, he as an individual is trying to create this space of making it so that all of us, that we feel like we're in a comfortable place to really get into a creative place with ourselves, to help each other, to be able to come up with new ideas and thinking outside of the box. And so whatever that means in your world, is this you? Or is this somebody coming into your world, or that's in your world that you already see? Could be a public figure, could be a mentor, a teacher, a dad, a good friend, whatever that means to you in your life. So this card, this position, represents the energy that is trying to flow away. And so the gift here is that it is a gift to someone else. It's a gift to the greater good, or it's a gift to yourself by forgiving something and letting something go without judgment, attachment, resentment, anger, sadness. And it's represented by the Rock and Roll Tarot by Vicki Burley, the Rock and Roll Prophetess. Throw a couple shuffles on here. I love this deck. It's a great beginner deck. It has really cool keywords to help learn the meanings of the cards. And I just love the old rock and roll poster artwork. It's wonderful. Okay. So we have the Ace of Swords. Is that right? We have the Ace of Swords reversed. So to me, this is about letting go of, for one thing, untruths and lies, of disappointment around new beginnings, of being stuck in your head that there's only one way of doing something. And I feel like it's about letting that stuff go. And again, without resentment, without being, just let it go. Don't be attached to it anymore. And I think that this really is holding true for all of us, no matter where we are on the spectrum of how we think about what's going on in the world. It's really important for us to really look at where are we keeping ourselves stuck by having ways of thinking that are based not in reality. And so I think this is a great thing to be able to let go of that stuff, to be able to embrace what is coming in. I see that the King of Wands here is turning his back on all these untruths that may have been the great idea that he and we were all charging forth at some point, but again, referring to the transits, it's about the dissolution of delusion. And I feel like that's what this card has a lot to do with, is really being able to embrace letting go of those things that we may have held to be true, and that we really felt like that's who we were. But as things are playing out, we're realizing, okay, that's not exactly where I need to be, and I need to reassess. So anyway, I find that to be pretty straightforward. I think that, we need to embrace that leadership in ourselves. We need to support that leadership that we see out in the world to create this new safe place for all of us to come together as a community. And how do we do that in our own personal lives? So embrace that in yourself, in your personal life with the people around you, or in the public figures that you're seeing around you. And we'll be creating that. Create that for yourself in your own home. Let go of all that old disappointment and disillusion and those things that are just playing out to not really be what we thought they were. So I'd like to pull a couple more cards. just as advisory cards to navigate. And we have another deck by Vicki Burley, the rock and roll prophetess. This is the Beast Mistress Animal Oracle. And these are all animals. Get these out of the way. And we have the pig. So the pig says, tenacious, steadfast, bold, and independent, bringer of luck, prosperity, and wealth. Feast, celebrate in gratitude. Prolific creation, a time of great fertility. So I really feel like this is about us really being tenacious and bold, be independent, have the courage to go forth and jump in with both feet and take charge. The bringer of luck, prosperity, and wealth. So I really feel like this is about allowing ourselves to not be stuck in the fear of what we're hearing on the news, of whatever anxiety we may be stuck in from ourselves or the people around us, and really like making room and allowing things to come through. We've got this eclipse is about letting go of what is no longer serving us. This is our time to do that, and this is a big card, allowing that to come through and or be let go, so that we can build this new safe place for our community and for ourselves and in our broader society. I feel like what we're going through right now astrologically has a lot to do with humanity in general. This is a big time for all of us. And so what we do as individuals is really going to determine where we go as humanity. Again, we don't know our ripple. Every little thing that we do adds up when you add up all the billions of us. And so the more we stay into our own integrity and step into our own dreams, we get to rewrite what it is to be a human on the planet. So feast and celebrate in gratitude. Gratitude is always the way to be able to start the process into making change, of letting go of fear, is to stepping into gratitude when we feel that we're spiraling into negative thinking. I think that it's important to not negate what we are actually going through. Things are getting real out here. We're seeing it around us and we're experiencing it in our own lives. But I think it's important to not get stuck there. We need to process it, but we don't want to get stuck and live there forever. So I think this is about just making sure that we appreciate and step into gratitude to help ourselves go through and cycle through the difficult parts and let go of what isn't working. Prolific creation, a time of great fertility. And again, this is about creating new things, of being bold and fearless, of stepping into what's new and creating those new things, creating a place where they can happen, where birth can be given to new ideas and new projects and relationships and jobs and homes and all the everything of what we are as humans on the planet. So there's the pig. And then I've got, these are the flower petals cards. And I love hearing from the animals and the plants. Listening to the planet as well as the humans. And so the flower petals, we have the iris. And the iris says, spread your creative wings and take flight. So again, this really calls to to not being stuck in fear, especially when we look at, all the fear that and chaos that's being induced by the who's in our world, and to make sure that we are able to weigh out through Lady Justice all the creative things that can happen on the other side. It could be that there's going to be accountability for who, but it's also about turning around the chaos and turning it into being able to navigate whatever's coming forward and feel like it's not going to throw us off. We're gonna have the new ideas. We will come up with the solutions because we're amazing. And our species has been on the planet for 300,000 years, and we've been through a lot. We can do it again. We can keep going. And I find it really exciting time to be alive. Well, I hope that's helpful in some way. And I look forward to coming back for another reading next week. If you are interested in listening to the other elements, please go on to the next ones. And like I said, you can bypass the transits and the collective cards since they'll be the same for all the elements. And that way you can watch the other ones. Watch your sun and your rising and your moon. And you can also do for your Venus and your Mars. Those are all the personal planets that affect us, and as well as people that you know. Anyway, thank you so much. I hope you have a really great and meaningful rest of your week. And we'll talk to you guys soon on the other side of the eclipse. Bye. Wow.